Alright, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to Real Madrid Hub, especially today. As you know, we have a great show today. I mean, very difficult though, because to me, to gather all the information regarding to Kylian Mbappe, especially in a day like yesterday when we also had the game against Shakhtar Donetsk, and when nobody really was expecting for this to happen, right? It was quite difficult, as I was all the time, like, checking the Twitter accounts and people and profiles and media, newspapers and stuff, because a lot of information, and all of them related to the Mbappe case, was coming up all the time, every 5 seconds, right? Renewing, refreshing constantly information about the player, about what was going on, and all the information that we got, it was coming from really important people, right? Like Julien Laurens, which is it's a French journalist, but it's a very good friend with Kylian Mbappe, and then Fabrizio Romano, and then Mario Cortegana, and Jose Felix Diaz. I mean, the most important, right? The top, more famous journalists were talking about it, right? So that's why it was quite difficult for me to gather all the information and try to recap the whole thing. So, to prepare the show today. So I'm gonna try my best, but I cannot promise you guys to, miss some information or something like that. I will keep you posted though. I'm not going to let any single news goes away, right? But yeah, so I'm gonna start from the beginning. I'm gonna start off by saying, let me find it. I'm gonna scroll down so I can share with you guys the first thing I found. It was okay, right here. Yeah, so the first thing, I think that I talked about this in the show yesterday, about the words from Daniel Riolo from RMC, the Radio Monte Carlo show. And I don't know if this guy knew something, right? But what he said before the bombshell kind of exploded, right? He said these words, quote here, he is in a very negative spirit, right? To the point that he himself says he will leave PSG in January if there is an opening, right? But in any case, at the end of the season, it's over. He's fed up. He was talking about that Kylian Mbappe was willing to leave PSG as soon as possible, whether it's in January or in July. And right after that, this bombshell came up from Mario Cortegana in Diario Marca. And let me tell you something, before they get started, Mario Cortegana is the only guy Kylian Mbappe trusted in when he decided to talk to the Spanish journalist, right? Mario Cortegana was the only one who had access to Kylian Mbappe right after, I think it was the day after he renewed his contract with PSG. So that's why this information is very legit, right? And I'd say, if Mario Cortegana claims this, I'm gonna say the same, and I'm gonna say yes, because the guy has a very, direct contact to the player or something, but is the only journalist Mbappe trusts in, okay, when it comes to reveal information or whatever. So, what he said in this article in Marca is, Kylian Mbappe explodes, right? He wants out from PSG in January. That is the first article that came up yesterday, and I think it was right after I uploaded the 2 videos for y'all guys talking about Kylian Mbappe and other stuff. So that was the first one, and then it was a kind of waterfall. All the news that came up later, it was like kind of a kind of waterfall, like, okay, now this and now this and now this, back to back, and I couldn't even separate them, and I didn't even have time, right, to gather all the information, but I tried. So that's why. So after Mario Cortegana said that, he started to, different accounts, right, like Madrid Extra, Infinite Madrid, and all the stuff, they were kind of, trying to break down into pieces the article from Mario Cortegana, revealing the most interesting or highlighting, right, the most interesting sentences from Mario Cortegana. For example, this one, he said, PSG will collaborate with Kylian Mbappe's request to leave, but not to Real Madrid, anywhere but Real Madrid. So that's why Liverpool, it's right now sounding as another option for the player, right? Because Paris Saint-Germain wants anything but Mbappe going to Real Madrid. I mean, that'd be the end of the world for them, right? But let me tell you something, Real Madrid is not interested at all in signing Kylian Mbappe right now. And this is information from Jose Velez Diaz that he told me and he shared with everybody in another article that came up in Marca a little bit like 3 hours later, right? So no, Real Madrid is not interested at all. Okay, so that is the first one. The second one is another very interesting thing that Mario Cortegana revealed. It was in July, so you guys have an idea how bad it was, the renewal contract situation, and how bad these guys did the things. Let me tell you, in July, it was the first time Kylian Mbappe asked and requested to PSG to leave. And the reason for that is because PSG were not doing the things that they promised. I mean, Al-Khelaifi was not signing, was not creating the project that he promised to Kylian Mbappe to renew. As you know, one of the most important things that he asked to Al-Khelaifi, it was to build up a project to win titles, right? So he wanted to Ameni, he wanted to Zidane in the bench, he wanted to Neymar and Messi out, right? And that's why the bad relationship between the two players, because he wanted to and Neymar out, and Al-Khelaifi didn't even do any single of those things, right? And he feels betrayed. He feels like these guys are ripping me off. I mean, these guys are a joke because they're not doing anything of all the things I said. And aside of that, more people from the politics spectrum, right? They showed up, like Emmanuel Macron, Sarkozy, the mayor of Paris, right? They showed up to tell me, hey, you have to stay because that's good for the country, that's good for the city, that's good for everybody. You should stay in PSG instead of going to Real Madrid. I did what they said, and now these guys are gone, right? And the problem is for me. So in somehow, Kylian Mbappe feels betrayed by everybody. But let me tell you something, this is a very immature behavior, as he didn't really, in my opinion, he wasn't able to anticipate all these consequences, right? And he was very immature when he said no to Real Madrid. Another interesting thing is this, from Cadena Cope. Mbappe accepts that he has made a mistake. And he told his entourage, right, to the people surrounding him, family and stuff, we made a mistake and I was the first one, right? So they are acknowledging the fact that they were wrong. They were pretty wrong. And now they are going to pay the consequences because Real Madrid is not going to beg the player to come to Real Madrid. Not at all. We don't need him anymore. We don't need him anymore. We have to Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, and we're good to go. Because the only piece that, in my opinion, we're missing is the number 9, another striker like Erling Haaland. That's it. But not Kylian Mbappe. By the way, today, Kylian Mbappe is coming into Madrid. Why? Because apparently he wants to see a bullfighting show with Sergio Ramos and Sergio Ramos who else? Sergio Ramos, Hakimi, and Nacho and Lucas Vazquez, I think, right? They will be today in a kind of bullfighting show today in Madrid. So that is going to add more, more stuff to the thing and the rumors and the story that he wants to come to Real Madrid and all this stuff, okay? So that is basically what happened yesterday, right? The guy like super crazy about it, like, he was out from Paris Saint-Germain, and right after the news from Mario Cortegana, then more sources, right, very close to Paris, very close, I mean, very important in France, like Julien Laurent and Fabrizio Romano and more people started to confirm, ESPN started to confirm the news, and they said it is really true. The guy wants out, and it's not a strategy. It is not. He wants out. And Luis Campos, the sporting director of Paris Saint-Germain, he said no. I mean, he denied a little bit, like no, he didn't say anything about leaving PSG in January. But on the other hand, right after that, he said, I mean, if he's happy or not, you have to ask him, not to me. So we certainly know Luis Campos doesn't want to be there either. Luis Campos is not happy with the way PSG have been doing the things, especially in the transfer market policy, right? It took so long to sign players. It took so long to get rid of players, and he's not used to it. The way he works is very different, right? And you have to remember, they also have another sporting director, which is Antero Henrique. And between Antero Henrique and Luis Campos is the same thing between Neymar and Mbappe, right? In the sporting direction and in the sporting department, right? They're not getting along at all, and they don't have a very good relationship. And Luis Campos is very close to Mbappe because he was the person who discovered Kylian Mbappe, actually. So, yeah, the things are not, going in the right way in PSG, within PSG, at any level, right? So right now there is a big fire inside PSG, and yeah, everybody is confirming the same thing. So it's very legit information. Another thing I have to talk about is the tweet of this guy, Jen Ajefiortov, who claimed that the Kylian Mbappe will sign for Real Madrid either in January or in summer, but in somehow the agreement is already locked up, right? It's already signed and locked up. This is a very bold statement, in my opinion, because from my understanding and from the things that Jose Felix Diaz told me, right? Real Madrid is not interested at all. Is not interested at all in Kylian Mbappe. So I don't know why this guy, where is this guy getting information from, but I'm not quite sure about that. And today I'm pretty sure we are going to hear more stuff regarding to Kylian Mbappe and all the things that are going on right now. And but yeah, that is basically what happened, right? Because I've been sharing information from Julien Laurent and Fabrizio Romano and all that people, right? But for example, Fabrice Hawkins, he said Real Madrid want a big attacker in either 23 or 24 with Mbappe or Haaland targeted, right? So, but not both of them, not anymore. And Fabrizio Romano said PSG have no intention to sell Kylian Mbappe in January. The other thing that we heard about, it was the price of the player, because some people are claiming the player, or PSG considers a 300-400 million deal the sale of Kylian Mbappe, which is to me something completely crazy, nuts and insane. And of course, let me tell you, Real Madrid is not going at all, is not going to pay such amount of money at all. At all. So let's see what happens. And yeah, that is all the information that we got. And another thing is Jose Felix Diaz reminded me, Jose Felix Diaz, a couple of days ago, before all this thing happened, he wrote an article in Marca because he got some information from within the locker room of PSG, and he said the relationship between these two guys is so bad. They had another fight in the locker room, and the guys had to put them apart and try to separate them because they were about to get into a fight. So the situation in the locker room of PSG is really bad. It's really bad. So I don't know, man. It is what it is, and right now is the most important news that I have for you guys. And just in case something else happens, I will keep you posted, of course. Okay. So yeah, that's it regarding to Kylian Mbappe. That is all what I have for you guys. I hope you liked the video, and of course, subscribe my channel.